Hey everybody, Shelly here, and today I've got for you a Friday foundation fix. The good news is I've actually got enough foundations ready to start testing for my next foundation fest, so that should be coming sometime in March, probably middle to end of March. But in the meantime, I've got your Friday foundation fix, and today we are going to check out a Korean beauty product in the form of the Missha M Perfect Cover BB cream. And this BB cream is SPF 42, so it gives you sun protection. And according to their website, let's read some of the claims. This was recommended by a couple of you guys in the comments over the past couple months, and I finally picked it up. I got it at Target. It retails for $22, but you can also get it from the Missha US website. And let's check out what they have to say. So I'm on Missha's website right now, and they claim this is recommended for those looking to hide blemishes and other imperfections, who want high coverage but lightweight formula, looking for a makeup product that provides wrinkle care and UVA UVB protection while brightening the skin, and those looking for a quick and easy way to achieve a more perfect complexion. Now, if you read the bottle itself, the tube, it also says that, let's see, prevents skin aging through effective whitening and anti-wrinkle properties. Now, in terms of that anti-wrinkle property type stuff, they've got some more information here. The key ingredients are Gutulene RC and hyaluronic acid and ceramides. Those are to help retain moisture and maintain elasticity in the skin. And it's also got rosemary extract and chamomile extract for a soothing effect. Like I said, it is SPF 42. Now, I got this on Target's website, and they had 5 shades available, but the Missha website has 6 shades available. I will say they are all skewed to the pale to medium end of the spectrum. There are no dark shades whatsoever. So these are definitely intended for the lighter skinned of us. And I picked this up in the lightest shade, which is number 13 Beige. Again, you can't really go with the naming of things because typically anything called beige would not work on me. But the Korean skincare lines aren't always the same as the typical US color naming schemes. So I went by the swatches. I picked the lightest one. The lightest one in the swatches still looked like it might have been a little too dark for me, but now that I've been wearing it, I don't think it is. I think it's just about right. The other thing, the pump comes as a 50 milliliter pump, and if you convert that to ounces, you're going to get 1.691 fluid ounces, so almost twice as much as you would get in a typical foundation bottle. A bottle of foundation is typically 1 fluid ounce, so 1.7 fluid ounces at $22 is a really nice price point. I would say we are at drugstore level price point, so even though this is a $22 product, the fact that you're getting almost twice as much as a typical foundation bottle, you're looking at the $12-ish equivalent for a bottle of foundation at the drugstore. So I would say this is very reasonably priced. And with that, let's see what this can do. I'm going to do a wear test. You will see how I apply it. I'm going to apply one side with a brush, the other side with a sponge. I will wear it throughout the day. We'll do a check-in in natural light, and I'll come back this evening and we will see how it wore on my 42-year-old skin. I've got some sunspots, hyperpigmentation to cover up. I'm obviously fair-skinned, pretty pale. Not the fairest of the fair, but I am pretty pale. I've got some fine lines going on. I have dry skin, very dry skin. I do not even approach normal. I am dry. So we'll see how this wears on any imperfections. If you want to see how the Missha BB cream does on this face, just keep on watching. Here are some swatches to compare this Missha to. The first one is today's Missha, the Perfect Cover BB cream. The second swatch is my current drugstore favorite foundation, the Rimmel Lasting Finish in their lightest shade, 091 Light Ivory. Third up is the new Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation in shade Rose Ivory. Next is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in their lightest shade 201 Classic Ivory. And last, I've got my current favorite higher end foundation, which is the Philosophy Hope in a Jar in their shade, their lightest shade, I believe it's called number 3. You can tell that the Missha is pretty much neutral toned. The foundation from Rimmel and the Wet n Wild and the Loreal are pretty cool toned. The Hope in a Jar is a neutral to cool, and I would say that Missha is neutral to cool, leaning cool, but definitely neutral. It's a pinkish undertone, definitely nowhere near yellow, so definitely neutral, possibly leaning a little bit cool. You can tell it is pretty light. These are the lightest foundations that I own, and the Missha is pretty light. Okay, let's see how this stuff applies. As usual, I'm going to use a brush on one side of my face. In this case, I've got the Artis Oval 7, and on the other side, I'm going to use my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Suddenly, I can't remember the name of it. And that is the plan. So we've got the Missha BB cream. I don't know if you're really supposed to shake it up or not, but, you know, I'm going to. And let's see what we've got. Got my cute little butterfly palette. Got this thing on Amazon. I love it. This seems like it's going to be a pump that might pump out more product than I normally use. Usually I would start with 2 pumps from a normal foundation bottle. Let's see how it goes here. Probably 2. I'm going to start with 2 pumps. That's probably going to be fine. Consistency-wise, it's very slow to drip, as you see, so it's a kind of on the thicker end of things. It is dripping a little bit, but slow to drip, so not a super thick consistency. And I know this defeats the purpose of the palette, but I'm going to dip my finger on here and put it on this side of my face, because I don't really like dipping my brush straight into it, because I feel like I get too much product on the brush. I did not mention that I have already washed and moisturized my face. I have also primed with the IT Cosmetics, I forget the name of this, number 50 Serum Collagen Veil Anti-Aging Primer. I don't find that this primer does much in terms of affecting the application or wear of my foundation. It's just got a ton of really good ingredients that I like for skincare purposes, so I like that primer for that. And let's go in with the Artis brush. I would say for a BB cream, this coverage is really not messing around. I would say we're not quite at a high medium coverage, but it really covered redness pretty well, and I feel like everything's smoothed on very nicely. I don't see it settling into any lines or pores. In fact, I think it has very nicely smoothed out the pores on my cheek here, and not bad. I'd say it's not really a dewy finish. It's not a matte finish. It's just kind of a natural satin sort of a finish so far. Let's try the sponge on the other side and see where we end up. Now this side is the side that I have more challenging sunspots to cover, so I think I got better coverage on the side with the brush. I also feel like the sponge side looks fine. I would totally wear this, but it did not do as nice of a job camouflaging my pores around my cheek area, although it's not settling into the pores and it's not accentuating fine lines, it's not settling into lines, but I think the coverage is a little better and a little smoother on the brush side. So let's try one more pump and see if we can build this up at all. I know that it is just a BB cream and it is not really intended for full coverage, but the website does say that it gives remarkable coverage, so I want to give it a chance to do that if it's going to. So one more pump. And let's just do a little bit more and see what we can build this up to. I think I'm going to use the brush for this extra bit because I like the finish just a little bit better. All right, I do think it built up fine. It doesn't seem heavy or cakey or anything like that. The coverage, I'd say we are at like a light to middle medium coverage. I can still see some of my sunspots poking through a little bit, but it's doing a decent job of covering in terms of canceling out redness, sort of evening everything out, and it is giving some coverage. Let me zoom you guys in and show you where we're at. So far, it is not settling into any lines. It's looking a tiny, tiny, tiny bit dry around my nostrils, which always happens, and it's actually looking less dry than most foundations do, even to start out, so that is good. I like the finish of this. I think it's a really sort of natural, it looks moisturizing, fresh kind of a finish. It is not accentuating any lines or pores. I actually kind of feel like it might be smoothing my skin out just a little bit, especially on my cheeks, which I'll take it. So I feel like if you've got any kind of texture to your skin, this might actually help a little bit. Let me put on the rest of my makeup and we will see how everything applies. Right now it is, what time is it? 12:33. So that is going to be our check-in time. We will call it 12:30 and I'm going to put the rest of my face on. I will be right back. And we're back. So far so good. Everything applied fine over this BB cream. I did end up setting it with a powder because it felt like it did not want to dry down. For example, I had touched my nose and I actually smeared the BB cream, and this was, you know, maybe 4 minutes after I shut the video off, so it hadn't dried down really at all. And even by the time I went to do my brows, my spoolie was moving the BB cream around my face and kind of smearing it. So I set it with a powder and that seemed to end that problem completely. I set it with the Loreal, this is the Baked Balance and Brighten foundation in Porcelain. I really like this stuff. I don't use it as often as I use the Double Take Baked, which I also really like, but this stuff kind of gives a little bit of, not a sheen, but a sort of lift, brightness kind of a lift. It does what it says. I like it. I like it. So once I set my face with the powder, everything stopped moving around. That problem was completely gone. And, you know, that's fine with me because I actually always set with a powder anyway. I prefer the look of my skin after I've got a powder on. That's just my preference. But I do think it would not have stayed put very well if I didn't set it. So if you don't like setting with a powder, this might not work. But other than that, the other stuff I've got going on my face, new favorite, Physicians Formula Butter Blush. This is in the shade Natural Glow. This is one of their new launches that came out in January. My diehard L'Oreal GlamBronze. I'm sorry, this is limited edition from last summer. I love it if you can get your hands on it. For fair skin, it is just a really nice bronzer. It's not too orange, it's not too dark, nothing crazy going on. I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in Very Fair, which I do not think is very fair, but when I'm not doing sort of a full glam face, I don't want too much highlighting going on around my eyes, so it works well. It just about matches my skin tone, so you're not going to get any brightening from this concealer, but you'll get a skin tone match. If you're any more fair than me, then it's going to be way too dark. On my eyes, I've been totally enamored with all matte eye looks lately, and this is from e.l.f., and it is the Mad for Matte 2 palette, and holy cow, I'm just having such a good time with this palette. For the price point, these things are amazingly good. They're a little powdery, you get a tiny bit of fallout, but they blend super easy. The pigmentation is really, really good. I really enjoy these new e.l.f. palettes. I had the first Mad for Matte palette and I loved it, and I actually gave it away to a friend who was having a hard time finding shadows that she liked that did not have shimmer, and so I had given her my first one, but I picked up the new one and it's awesome, just like the first one was. wanted to mention an eyeliner that I've been trying out. This is the Rimmel Glam-Eyes Professional Liquid Liner. It is a brush style liquid liner, which I prefer. I'm not a big fan of felt tip. I would rather have a brush. And the brush is super, 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 super tiny. Super tiny brush, but it has enough density and firmness to it that you can get a good line pretty easily. And considering how hard it is for me with hooded eyes to do any kind of a wing, the fact that I'm doing pretty well with this one is a good sign. It also does not bleed into, if you have any kind of crepey eyelid lines or any kind of lines on your eyelids, it does not bleed into sort of the wrinkles and crepes, which is awesome because I do have that problem, and then you end up with what I call tire tread eyes. And this does not do that. It is a very wet formula, so you do have to be careful because if you accidentally get it on your eyelash, you can transfer it all over your face. Speaking from experience. But other than it being a very wet formula, so far I am really enjoying that eyeliner. And I'm almost done with my sample of my Urban Decay Perversion mascara. I just ordered the full size. That's a big step for me. I'm really liking this mascara. It gives you length and volume without looking too clumpy. It's very black. It is, you can layer it up. I'm very much liking this mascara. So I did order the full size of that. And lastly on my lips, I've got Loreal Color Riche in Nature's Blush number 840. I wanted to wear a lighter nude lip, but my lips are a little too chapped right now to pull off a nude lip because you can always see like all the lines in my lips when I wear a light color. Speaking of chapped lips, another product I'm thoroughly enjoying is the Milani Keep It Smooth Lip Treatment. It's a really, really lightweight lip balm, and it wears off pretty quickly, but what I do is I put it on when I'm doing my moisturizer and everything on my lips, and then that sort of moisturizes them and preps them, so by the time I'm ready to put lipstick on, they're no longer slippy and nasty, and lipstick goes on over it quite well. So I'm really liking this product. This is one of their new products this early spring, late winter. So that is what we've got going on. I will check back in a few hours with a natural light check-in, and then I'll come back at the end of the night and show you how it wore. Hello, natural light check-in, trying not to blind your eyes with the sun behind me. It is somewhere around 4:30, so we're at about the 4-hour mark with this BB cream. And so far I really, really like this shade on me, and it feels very lightweight. It feels like next to nothing at all. It really feels like having my morning moisturizer on. So far so good, and that's where we're at right now. Let's wrap up this Missha BB cream Friday foundation fix, shall we? Now, right now it is about 7:30, so we're at approximately the 7-hour mark. Normally I would do a little longer of a wear test, but I must be honest, I'm having one of the worst allergy outbreaks of my life, and when my allergy medicine was fresh when I first started filming today, everything was fine, and now I just really need to blow my nose. And I don't want to blow my nose with the foundation on because then it just takes it off and it makes a mess, and it's not a really good test of how well it wears. So I have been touching my nose throughout the day, and overall, for as much as I've had to touch my nose, it's holding up really well. So the observations right off the bat, my forehead looks a little bit dewy, which is interesting for me because I'm really not oily. I'm very dry skinned, but it still looks smooth and nice for the most part. My cheeks, my face looks fine. It's wearing off the tiniest bit on my nose, but like I said, I've been touching my nose quite a bit, so for that, I'd say it looks great. It's starting to separate a little bit around my mouth where it moves, and it did settle into the deeper lines under my chin pretty significantly, but it has not settled into lines anyplace else. And this really, I usually just solve it by going like that and kind of blending everything back in. So I think None of these things are deal breakers to me. The separation around my mouth just started happening within the last half hour or so, so I'd say I got a solid 6 hours of good wear out of this. And then we're just getting to the point where it's typical, full day wear type of issues. And for a BB cream that's not really meant to be a long wearing foundation, I think it has held up really, really well. Let me zoom you guys in and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. It's a little bit dry around my nose, but really not any more dry than it was this morning when I put it on. I have really dry skin around my nostrils. It kind of flakes, and so it clings a little bit to those flaky patches, but not bad at all. I'm not seeing any accentuation of lines or my crow's feet, which by the end of the day, if it's a drying foundation, my crow's feet will be kind of visible. Not necessarily that product is settling in them, but they will look dry and you'll be able to see them more. And now they look as good as they do when I wake up, which is to say really good for having product on there. I think all my makeup stayed well. In fact, the fact that I feel like I overdid with my bronzer a little bit is still apparent at the end of the day. So that happened, and that's happening, and okay, whatever. Overall, I think this Perfect Cover BB cream is great. I really like the color tone of it, and I think this really solidified to me. I'm a neutral skin tone with cool undertones, but I'm not extremely cool undertoned. I'm just slightly cool undertoned. So I find that foundations that are very pink, very cool undertoned are a little bit too cool for me. And neutral undertone, while they still work, they're a little too neutral for me. But something that has just the tiniest touch of pink works really well, which is why I think this works really well for me. It's closer to the neutral side, but a tiny bit cool. Same with the Philosophy Hope in a Jar. It is closer to the neutral side, but just a tiny bit cool, whereas the Wet n Wild, the Rose Ivory, is a little too pink for me. I do like it. It works for me, and it actually works better than their neutral, the one step up. If I'll link my Wet n Wild foundation review below where I swatched 2 different shades of it, which gives me the idea that maybe I should mix those 2 shades to take a little bit of the coolness out of the Rose Ivory, and maybe it would be good. But I think the neutral barely cool is just right for me. This is just the right lightness. It's not too light. It's not too dark for me. This is the lightest shade that they've got, the beige number 13, I think it was. Bright Beige number 13. So overall, I'm very, very happy with this product. It's a great price point. It's got some really good skincare ingredients in it. It really behaves like a foundation. I don't think BB cream is strong enough because I'd say we got close to medium coverage, light medium maybe, but definitely in the medium range, and it did build up plenty nicely. I don't think you could get it all the way to full coverage, but medium coverage is okay if that's all you need. I think it wears really well, especially for a BB cream. I do recommend setting it with a powder. I think that was a necessary step in order to get it to set and stay in place. But overall, I'm very happy with this product. I would say if I had to give the Missha M Perfect Cover BB Cream a grade, I'm going to give it a solid B plus maybe. I like the ingredients. I like the shade. We're going to go B just because it's not covering any of the darker shade range, and that leaves out a good portion of the audience of the world. But I would say if you fit into the shade range of this product, give it a try. It's got some great anti-aging properties in here. It feels really nice. It's like wearing just about nothing at all. It's very lightweight. I like it. It's good stuff. I'm definitely putting this into the regular rotation. And it's a win. Thumbs up for me. If you would like to see some more foundation and BB cream type reviews, give me a thumbs up and let me know what you would like to see in the comments down below. I will link all the videos I mentioned today down in the down bar. I always link what I'm wearing and all that good stuff, so if you have missed any of that, check it out down below. Thanks again, as always, for hanging out and geeking out over makeup with me. I appreciate your time. I hope you have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world, and be sure that you take care of each other. Bye-bye.